Hey guys, your John coming at you with another Infinite Magicraid video. I know some of you may have wondered where I was at for the last couple of days. I do daily uploads, and I did take a couple of days off. That was for kind of like a mental health break. Sometimes it is worth it to play video games that aren't actually for monetization purposes and are just for fun. And as a content creator, it's nice to kind of remind yourself that, so that way you can kind of get back into it and get fresh. With that being said, we passed a hurdle and it was great. It felt great. We're stuck again, but I want to talk about what that hurdle was, and I want to let you know what we did to surpass it. So before we get into it, keep watching and see what happens. All right, well, I don't know what let's get into it. Keep watching means. Sounds like I tried to copy Chosen over there in the Chofly Elite community, but it's fine. It's fine. We just won't tell him, okay? We won't tell him, even if he is part of Aftershock. But no, seriously. So what happened is I got stuck, guys. I was stuck for the last several days. This is day, I think, 19 on the free-to-play series, and I've been enjoying it. Obviously, I've been having a lot of fun. We are having an overabundance of energy right now, which is perfect, because it's something I want to talk about later on in another video anyways. But the hurdle I ran into is the fact that I was dead stuck on this whole clear floors, right? So if we go ahead and we pull up this up, I'm now on chapter 32. I was stuck on chapter 31 for the longest time to get this 5-star dragon egg. What was the problem? It was this, see where it says clear floor 19 right here? I was basically hard stuck on clear floor 18 and I could not get past it. And it took me up to 4 days to actually complete this content. Now, keep in mind, I am free to play. I have made mistakes. If you've been watching my YouTube channel from the beginning, basically, you'll know that I have been making mistakes in Infinite Magicraid, but I'm very honest with you guys. I'm very upfront with you guys when I make these mistakes. And I think part of that reasoning is those mistakes cost me this, and that's why it took an extra 4 days. The reason why I say that, and the more proof in the pudding, we'll call it, is the simple fact that now that Holder is Awakened 3, he survived until the last round several times, and I had to RNG it to beat 18. Now, if he was A5, this would be a totally different conversation. And honestly, I think even then, I'm now stuck yet again on clear floor 19. And when we look at floor 19, I get the boss about 50% of the way, and then my characters die. So we'll say 48 to 50%. Which is pretty good, because at that point, I would have thought that Zia's mastery, because I do have her emblems, I have her masteries completed for, which one is it? Higher than self. There's also one that is 50% damage, or when the enemy is below 50% damage. This one, New Lease on Life. When attacking targets with less than 50% HP, direct damage dealt is 9% increased. So I thought I could quickly burst him down if I got him below 50%. I got him to 48%, and then I died. So even though I had this mastery, it did not make that big of a difference. Now, there's some other couple of things that I think go into it. Right now, Zia is built for sustain. She's a hard carry champion right now. I have her aura set as the extra recovery aura, which basically every single time she does a skill, she gets an HP increase. I'm trying to actually get this buffed up to the 12, because honestly, at 18%, every time she does a skill, that's a massive amount of HP healing, and maybe I could start getting her away from the leech set as well, which may help me further boost my characters. Now, some may actually watch this YouTube video and say, hey, John, why don't you go over to the Forge and make some some Fearless set, which is an amazing set, right? Some more Slay gear, maybe even Bloodthirsty, because honestly, Bloodthirsty would be pretty recommended, right? It's got attack percent and leech, which is huge. The problem is the amount of resources that go into these, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to go that approach at the early stage of the game, especially as free to play. And the reason I say that is because if you do some math, what kind of equipment and what the energy requirements are going to be for this versus what you can get from doing just simple things like focusing on one character, maxing out that character's emblems, like focusing on one character and getting them maxed as fast as possible, usually nets a better result, because it takes less energy than it would be to divvy up everything and try to get, say, for example, a 5-star set of that gear, which at that point is actually lower tier gear than what I currently have on her for the most part. And it definitely makes sense. So these are the type of thought processes and ideas that have to kind of happen to make sense. Because if you see here, I don't have epics. I don't have legendaries on this, right? But I have 6-star gear. It's not terrible. I've got speed. I've got crit rate. I've got crit damage on every single piece. I've got one of those stats on every single piece, which is great. Also, by beating level 18, I got this amazing piece of gear. Well, I shouldn't say necessarily amazing. It's really good, though. I got a Grail, a 6-star Grail as a reward, and that happened to be a speed Grail for my Force Champion, which is amazing. Unfortunately, I did go 3 times flat, which was tragic. I wish it would have went crit rate, but it has HP and defensive rate as well. Overall, not terrible. I went ahead and put it up to 16, even though it's not the god tier piece of gear. Because, once again, one thing that helped me a lot was playing the events. Even coming down here in this enhancement goals, right? I increased 1 piece of gear to 16 at level 6. It gave me 359 points. So if you want to take that as a reference. So for example, if we bring up our handy dandy calculator and we say that we want to max out this event at 2,500 points, okay? And that cost me 359, or sorry, I gained 359 points per a 6-star piece of gear to 16. If we divide that into there, it means you have to upgrade approximately 7 6-star pieces of gear to max out this event. And that would get you the epic scroll here as well as everything else. Not terrible at all. Unfortunately, it does take a lot of gold. So it's something, definitely keep that in mind. Don't waste your gold because it's not like it's the easiest commodity to come by. Now, one other thing to talk about is I love that the fact that the equipment and artifact goals and enhancement goals all co-align each other. I love that they put these together. This is huge. Everyone should be taking major advantage of this. Classic arena competitions, unfortunately, I made yet again another mistake. Notice that I am 500 points away from this. This is literally 10 arena battles, and this is because I didn't manage my time properly. And this is, so total, if I had done 15 more arena battles that I did, I would have completed this entire event free to play, no diamonds invested. And I can honestly sit here and tell you that had I played more consistently the last 2 days when I decided to go ahead and take my like mini refresher break for mental health of actually enjoying video games, I would have progressed so much further. So definitely keep that kind of stuff in the back of your minds. Mainly just because if you're a free to play player like I am, maximizing your rewards for playing is huge, right? By not taking advantage of events, by not looking at the grand scope of things, you kind of singular yourself out, right? And the reason why I say that is because I've done a lot of stuff now where I've looked at the events, I've looked at different things like ice skating. I misunderstood this entire event here, so it messed me up. But now that I understand it, I pretty strongly agree that I will be able to knock this out no problem. Moving forward when the time allots. Unfortunately, there is no way you as a free-to-play you're going to finish that event, and that's okay. Those are some events you need to accept you're not going to complete, right? But it's okay if you don't complete them. Now that I've completed my 418 goal, it actually gave me some rewards. It gave me a 5-star food egg, which is great. Upgrading that piece of gear gave me some more wishes. And it triggered a bunch of other things, right? So now we got some food here, so we can go ahead and we can use this, compare, contrast, or compile, we'll call it, right? To create us better openings here. We're almost to the point now where we can get another 5-star, which is huge, because we are once again at the point where it's time to decide. Do we go a 4 on holder, or are we going to go and start progressing on Margarita? Because we do need to also invest in legendaries. I have 2 legendary skill tomes, which are great. But I have Margarita and I have Luz, who are both very strong and very great characters to be using, right? With that being said, there's some really hard decisions, right? Obviously, I've done a lot of investment in Space because she's great, but I have her ultimate fully booked here. I would love to get her Nightmare fully booked. That cooldown will make a big difference. However, it seems like general progression for a free-to-play, this doesn't make sense. This is not the way to go. I'm lacking mostly in DPS, and even though I have Holder at A3, A3 is really nothing when you compare it to A5. And honestly, when you go to compare stats here, like I do understand that Zia is a legendary, which does give her a little bit of higher base stats, which all of your percent stats go off of your base stats. But when you compare, just look at the attacks on these, right? They have similar gear. Notice the difference in the attack there. That was almost 7K attack difference, right? And that's going from A3 to A5. Granted, their gear is about on par with themselves. They don't have great gear on. Let's be honest. I'm, 19 days in. I'm not going to have great gear. That's going to be something that's going to come with time. It's going to take 2 or 3 months. But with that being said, the fact that the difference between A3 and A5, increasing your base stats, is so huge and so vast that it's going to make more sense to focus on the 2 characters, get them to A5. I think that would have helped my progress. In this case, both of my characters are force. So I'm definitely prioritizing getting Holder and Azia up, even though Margarita may be a better option for me. Margarita and Luz would probably be better options. And if I were to regress space, get all my skill tomes back, and say put all that resources into Luz or into Margarita, it would actually probably help my account more, because I would have, at this point, an A4, maybe an A5 character, which then would allow me to complete the campaign. However, when it comes to hard stuck on different topics, right? Clear 419 and any tower of mark, I would never be at this objective. This would never happen, because I would be so diverse with my different factions that this wouldn't work. I wouldn't be this far. So it definitely makes sense in my case to go with using Holder. At this point, so I need to fully invest in him. Unfortunately, to awaken him, I now have to do 1, 2, I need 3 more. I'm almost there, which means I'm gonna need 2 more, which means I gotta start looking at how can I progress a little bit more? How can I get closer to this? The way I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna be doing auras. It's gonna be playing these events more and more and more to get some better gear, some better equipment. We did the classic arena event. If we go to event rankings here, even though I'm 86th, which sucks, it's going to go ahead. It's going to give me some runes. It's going to give me some mythic hero shards. It's going to give me some adamite, which is good. And it'll definitely help me in the long run, right? For my account progression, which is the big thing to talk about, because as a free-to-play player, there's times where you're going to get stuck. It took me 4 days to complete floor 18 of Tower of Mark. Moving forward, hopefully it doesn't take me another 4 days to clear 19. But I would not be remiss in saying that it wouldn't surprise me. Really wouldn't. That's what happens. And that's what's great about games like this, is because it's keeping you invested. It's keeping you to the point where you're not breaking down. I haven't spent any money. I'm still 100% free to play. But it's keeping me engaged, because it's these little mini games that I keep coming back for that are keeping me playing in the game. And when I'm doing this, I want the resources, and as free to play, I want to make sure I'm efficient, that I'm keep micromanaging and figuring out slowly but surely what I need to be doing to increase my power. But I do sternly feel that by getting 2 A5s, even to 3 A5s, is going to be the way to go. At which point, I'm actually going to have to start looking at possibly getting into Dragon Cliff soon. I don't think at stage 16 this is worth it, to be honest with you. I think if I can get this down to stage 17 or 18, I think at this point this was worth it as far as getting the 4-star eggs. But it's going to take a lot of resources and a lot of time. I want to say our good friend Buildshot Gaming, another part of the Aftershock United community, actually did the math for us, and it's about 80k energy to get a 5-star, which equates to about a month's worth of grinding, I want to say is what he said, something close to that, which is a massive amount of energy needed and required. But before we go ahead and end this for you guys, let's go ahead and let's see what else we can get very quickly, resource-wise, right? Maybe. I think the dogs are barking outside. I don't know what's going on, but it's okay. They will live. The old lady will take care of them. But I do want to go ahead, and I want to go ahead and pull my shards, because we get to have fun. We have 5 more times to guarantee a legendary. I do know we have a raid upcoming, but unfortunately, as a free-to-play player and a newer account, I don't think it makes sense. It makes 0 sense for me to hold on to these. I need to try to get as many diversity options as possible. I honestly need some burn champions. I really, really need HP burn champions. I think they're going to be massive for my account. Let's go ahead and let's see who we get, because we're guaranteed a legendary on this 10 pull. I want to see who we get. Hopefully we get something good. I really need a great legendary. I got robbed. I got robbed in the last time. Let's not gonna lie here. I literally got back-to-back on the double legendary event. I got 2 Naseels back-to-back. I literally summoned 1, and my double was Naseel. I know people say he's great for PvP. I don't care about PvP. I care about PvE and dynamics. So that was a rob for me. That was terrible. I did not like it. So hopefully we get another great champion. And before we call it good, let's see what we get. Come on. Give me something good. Reward for those who stayed to the end to watch. Okay, guaranteed legendary. Who did we get? Who did we get? Come on. Hana. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Obviously this is a support unit. Oh, okay. Well, not bad. I'm good with it. I don't think it's bad for my account. I don't think it's bad for my account. The lack of shock and awe, we'll call it, is mainly because I need God tier DPS, right? God tier DPS would have been helpful to make a better decision on who to use my legendary resources on. But a good support unit is not bad. Okay, so we got all of our shards are pulled now. So this has all of our food. Let's go ahead and condense, see what we end up with when we condense here. Okay, I think this is going to work out pretty nicely. 1, 2, 3. I don't really rely on you. I don't need you. Okay, so that gives us one more 5-star. That's perfect. Okay, cool. All right, so this may work out better than I think. Because then obviously we can't do one more 5-star. We're close to, I don't know why that keeps doing that. If we go here, awaken, right? That puts you at 3 now. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Okay, cool. So that leaves 2 more for him. That's good. And then if we talk about characters overall, nope, this one here, thank you. Johanna. Now, she has, if I remember correctly, she's got the heals, right? Yep, heals and turn meter, which is great. With attack up, which is also good. She has the reduced direct damage taken by all allies when she survives, as long as she's alive, which is also helpful. After, I guess I never read this part. This effect is reduced by 50% 2 turns after Iguana acts. Multiple skills increase this attribute. Interesting. I guess I never read this part. So after 2 turns, this goes down to a 4%. Still not bad though. Damage mitigation. The speed down is huge. Speed up is huge, right? Definitely very, very good for a support character. Also, severe wounds may be exactly what I need for. Oh, she can't be in Mark Force though. That's unfortunate. Okay, that's fine. She's Sunset Ages. She's Blue Mark. She's a support unit. Overall, not a bad pull at all. She's definitely going to be helpful. The problem is we have space. Space is going to be God tier as well. So this means I would pair her well with space. And honestly, that may be good. Maybe we swap out Maya and see how long we can run with like a Gahana space combination. Maybe this will help us with progressing campaign PvE content. Overall, though, Gahana is going to be amazing for the blue marks as well as for the Sunset Ages. Both are going to be like, this is huge for that faction, right? For that faction, for that part of the tower. So it's also great, obviously. And if you just saw that notification here, we've now reached 20 days on the account because we just had server reset. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to end the video here because this went longer than I wanted it to go. But I wanted to give you guys an update on the account. Day 19, finished, wrapped up. We made great progress. We're going to keep making great progress. And until next time, guys, have a good rest of your day. I've been Trigger Happy John. Please make sure to like and subscribe. We're over 300 subscribers, which has been amazing. As soon as I get to 1,000, I actually get a little bit of revenue out of this, which would be huge. I have a great plan and idea for once we get to a month into IMR. So definitely help me out by hitting that subscribe button. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.